Welcome, I'm Dave Horseman, Ho'opono Farm. Statistic here in Hawaii, in the state of Hawaii, is that we get 10% of our food from the state and from Hawaii. And so the problem with that is 90% of the food coming into Hawaii is brought in on boats, and 10% is grown here in the state. What we're trying to do here is flip that upside down, or do our best to make that ratio a little different. By having more farmers come into the picture, and for us to use more local food and from local farms here in Hawaii, you actually are helping to stop the influx of boats across the ocean, pollution. Like that's the big picture for us in Hawaii. Here in Hawaii, this used to be pineapple lands, and in the past few years, a lot of the pineapple company here has pulled out and kind of made a transition from being pineapple land to a lot of real estate development. And now it's great. The company that we lease our land from, they are turning over a large chunk of their land to agricultural support. And so they've opened up a large chunk here on the west side of Maui to farmers, and they're trying to encourage local farmers to start. We're one of the first local farmers to jump on this project, and this, it's kind of a movement here, especially with the chefs that of West Side, especially, where everybody kind of works together in concert to turn this into a big project of reestablishing agriculture in Hawaii. We got some cosmic purple carrots here. It's a culinary mix. Chefs really love this. These carrots, they're purple on the outside and orange and yellow on the inside. We grow 6 different kinds of carrots. This being one of them. These are an awesome carrot. There we go. The land here is mostly clay. It's an alai clay and silt, and so the ground is really hard, and it's been monocultured for 50 years. So that's monoculture is they've only farmed one thing in the ground for so long, and they use some crop rotation. But so because of the way that they've farmed in the past before us, this earth is actually, when we first got on here, we couldn't barely grow anything on here. Super high acid, low pH, and so for 2 years we've been building soil. That's what we do. We build soil, and it's taken us 2 years to get to a point to where we have 4 acres of growable land. We do a lot of like I said, different greens that we do compared to the mainland. A lot of the different crops are beets and sugar beets, corn, soybeans. We do more boutique style growing. Mostly everything we grow here at the farm, before we plant it, we have already made an arrangement to where it's going to go. Like that, we work hand in hand with our local chefs.
I'm Isaac Bancako from Pineapple Grill, and I'm at Ho'opono Farms in Napili, Maui. And I just picked up these beautiful red carrots that I'm going to take back to the restaurant to see what we can whip up. And farm to table movement on Maui especially is very important, because I think especially as chefs, we're so used to looking at a price sheet or looking at a order guide with produce on it, and we're so used to the farmer telling us what they can grow, whereas I think a lot of it is our jobs as chefs is to make sure that we're keeping the farmers in the loop on trends, and keeping the farmers in the loop on what we want to grow and what the demand out there is. And that's why farm to table is so important, because it's a two-way communication between chef and farmer and back to the farmer. All right, so we're finishing up here at Ho'opono Farms. Now we're going to go to Napili Flow, where we get to check out some pretty cool escargot. So here we are at Napili Flow Farm with Monica Kajadoi. Hey Monica, how are you? So Monica, how long has Napili Flow Farm been in action?
I'm going on a year in March. I'll be making a year.
So in my opinion, growing what you do is the most efficient usage of space and the quickest growing. Why is that? What makes the farm that successful?
Utilizing vertical space, being that I don't have acreages to farm, finding a niche in the market that doesn't need a whole lot of space and is a quick turnover.
And what makes your microgreens so successful within your greenhouse here?
I believe it's the soil. I think everything starts off with the soil and time.
And how many different types of microgreens do you grow?
Right now I have on a consistent basis, I believe 7 different microgreens. The red shiso microgreen is one of my favorite microgreens. From seedling to harvest, I believe it takes anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks.
You know, I use shiso in a bunch of different things, but I think the red shiso has a nice little pepperiness to it, and it goes great with sashimi. Monica always also does escargot, so we're gonna go check that out.
This aquaponics system here is built mainly to raise the escargots, and it's a closed loop system. So there is a few tilapia fishes to kind of balance out the ecosystem. And on top we have watercress growing that helps to filter the water. And then it drops down into clean water into the ponds for the escargots, and then into the other, which is called a swirl pump, and a sump tank, and then back into the watercress bed.
We got the produce, let's head to the kitchen. I was on Iron Chef with Ming Tsai. I was a sous chef with him at the time, and we challenged Bobby Flay. And if we didn't win, I wouldn't be talking about it. Look at that. It's nice, huh? So again, we have seared ahi with wasabi pea and pistachio crust, some fresh bok choy, and our Ho'opono Farms red and orange carrots with our Napili Flow Lilikoi Beurre Blanc. There you have it. Chef Isaac Bancacco from Pineapple Grill, farm to table.